Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into a story that, well, it's one of those truly enduring tales from literature, absolutely beloved.
It really is. We're talking, of course, about Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, a masterpiece.
Right. And for this deep dive, we're working with some excerpts from Pride and Prejudice, a story of love and social class.
Yeah, and our goal here isn't just, a plot summary. We want to really unpack the characters, look at the societal stuff going on.
And figure out why those twists still feel so surprising and, well, meaningful today, why it grabs us.
Exactly. It's about exploring what makes it tick, really.
Okay, so let's dive in. First off, we need to set the scene, right? This is early 19th century rural England.
Yes, and that context is crucial. Social standing, reputation, who you married, that was everything, especially for women.
Which brings us straight to the Bennet family.
The absolute heart of it. You've got Mr. Bennet, the father, kind of witty, detached maybe, hides in his library a lot.
Yeah, seems almost amused by the chaos. And then Mrs. Bennet.
Oh, Mrs. Bennet. Her main goal in life, her only goal it seems sometimes, is getting her daughters married. Preferably well.
But it's not just fussiness, is it? There's a real economic anxiety there.
Absolutely. That's key. Their estate, long born, it's entailed, so it can only pass to a male heir. If Mr. Bennet dies...
The girls and their mother could be left with basically nothing. That explains so much of her intensity.
It really does. Then you have the daughters. Jane, the eldest, she's the sweet, calm, optimistic one.
Always seeing the good in people. And then there's Elizabeth, our protagonist.
Lizzie, yes. She's, well, different. Intelligent, independent, got that sharp wit.
She definitely doesn't just accept things, does she? How unusual was a character like her back then?
Oh, pretty unusual. I mean, she's not staging a revolution, but her intellectual independence, her questioning of social norms, that was quite something. Her wit isn't just being clever, it's how she sees the world.
Okay, so that's the family dynamic. And then, boom, the catalyst arrives.
Mr. Bingley. Wealthy, single, moves into Netherfield Park nearby.
Which causes quite a stir, especially for Mrs. Bennet.
A flood of joy, as the source says.
Yeah.
But it's more than joy, isn't it? It's a serious prospect, a potential lifeline.
Right. A strategic opportunity disguised as a charming neighbor. And Bingley seems like a genuinely nice guy.
He does. Polite, kind, easygoing. And he pretty quickly takes a liking to Jane.
Seems almost perfect.
Yeah.
Too perfect.
Well, in Austen, things are rarely that simple because Bingley doesn't come alone.
Ah, yes. Enter Mr. Darcy.
Bingley's friend, even wealthier apparently, but different vibe, very serious, comes across as quite proud, maybe arrogant even.
Yeah, aloof is a good word. And this sets up the immediate clash, especially with Elizabeth.
That first meeting is, well, memorable. Darcy basically dismisses Elizabeth, says she's tolerable but not attractive enough to tempt him.
Ouch. And Elizabeth overhears this.
She does, and understandably her opinion of him is instantly negative, proud, uncivil, unpleasant.
So classic bad first impressions on both sides.
Yeah.
But it gets worse for Darcy's reputation, doesn't it?
It does. Elizabeth then meets Mr. Wickham. Charming soldier, seems lovely.
Seems being the operative word.
Exactly. Wickham tells Elizabeth this whole sob story about how badly Darcy treated him, painting Darcy as, like, the villain.
And Elizabeth, already predisposed to dislike Darcy, she believes him.
She does. It fits her initial judgment. And this really highlights something important Austen's doing here.
Which is?
Showing how much weight is put on first impressions and reputation. How easily someone charming, like Wickham, can manipulate opinion in a society so focused on appearances.
It's like these initial judgments just snowball, driving everything.
They really do. They fuel the whole first part of the novel. It's a critique, really, of making snap judgments.
Okay, so we have this setup. Elizabeth firmly dislikes Darcy, thinks she has them all figured out. But then, here's where it gets really interesting.
It's a first proposal. Completely out of the blue for Elizabeth. Darcy proposes marriage.
Despite thinking she's only tolerable,
And
despite her obvious dislike for him.
Well, yes, and he doesn't exactly make the proposal appealing either. He mentions her lower social standing. It's clumsy, to say the least.
So, Elizabeth's reaction.
An immediate, very firm no. But she doesn't just refuse, she tells him exactly why.
She lays into him.
Pretty much. Accuses him of arrogance, of ruining Jane's happiness with Bingley, and of mistreating Wickham. It's quite the takedown.
Wow. But this rejection, it actually changes things, doesn't it? It's pivotal.
Hugely pivotal, because it forces Darcy to explain himself. He writes her this long letter.
Ah, the letter.
Yes, and in it, he reveals the truth about Wickham, that Wickham's the one who behaved dishonorably. And he explains his reasons for interfering with Jane and Bingley, though admitting he might have misjudged Jane's feelings.
So this letter forces Elizabeth to completely reevaluate everything she thought she knew.
Completely, she starts to see that maybe her judgment was clouded, her prejudice.
And then we start seeing Darcy differently, too, through his actions. He does things secretly.
Yes, acts of real kindness and integrity that completely contradict that initial impression. The biggest one is probably sorting out the Lydia situation.
Right. Her younger sister, Lydia, runs off with Wickham, which was a huge scandal back then.
Oh, catastrophic. It could have ruined the entire family's reputation, made the other sisters unmarriageable, social and financial disaster.
And Darcy steps in.
He finds them, pays off Wickham's debts, essentially bribes Wickham into marrying Lydia, saving the family's honor, and crucially, he tries to keep his involvement completely secret.
He doesn't want the credit.
No. It shows a humility and a sense of responsibility that Elizabeth had no idea was there. It's not pride driving him here. It's something much deeper.
And he also helps get Bingley and Jane back together.
He does. He admits to Bingley he might have been wrong about Jane's feelings and encourages him to go back to her.
So these actions, they speak louder than any words could, right? They show his true character.
Precisely. They dismantle Elizabeth's prejudice piece by piece.
And naturally, her feelings start to change from, active dislike to something else.
Respect, certainly. And then, gradually, something much warmer. She realizes her own fault in judging him so harshly, just as he realizes his own arrogance was blinding.
It's a real journey of growth for both of them, isn't it? They both have to overcome their own flaws. His pride, her prejudice.
That's the core of it. It's not just a romance. It's about self-awareness, about learning to see beyond the surface, about admitting you were wrong. They have to earn their happiness in a way.
By changing themselves.
By understanding themselves and each other better. The love story is powerful because it's built on that foundation of mutual understanding and self-improvement.
Which leads us to the very satisfying ending.
Yes. After all the misunderstandings and growth, Elizabeth truly sees Darcy, accepts him, and realizes she loves him. And he proposes again.
Much more successfully this time, I assume.
Much more humbly and sincerely, yes. And she accepts. And alongside them, Jane and Bingley finally get engaged too.
So, double wedding bells. The Bennet family's future is secure, and our main couples find genuine love.
It's a beautiful resolution, but looking at the bigger picture, it's more than just happy endings.
What do you mean?
Well, the novel is such a brilliant commentary, isn't it? On class, on money, on reputation, on the constraints faced by women. It celebrates love, yes, but a specific kind of loved one, based on respect, understanding, and genuine connection, not just social convenience or initial attraction.
It really challenges you to look deeper.
Definitely. Beyond those first impressions, it champions, self-reflection and the possibility of change.
That's a great way to put it. So as we wrap up this deep dive, maybe a final thought for you listening. How often do our own first impressions, based on maybe not much information or even just our own biases, how often do they get in the way?
Yeah, do they maybe blind us to who someone really is or what a situation's truly about?
Exactly. What could we gain if we just maybe took a leaf out of Elizabeth and Darcy's book, practiced a bit more patience, thought a bit more critically, and allowed ourselves to, change our minds when we learn something new?
It's definitely something worth thinking about, the value of looking again.
Something to mull over. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.